Chargers fans, thank you all very much for tuning in to Carter Speaks Chargers. Today, I'll be previewing the Los Angeles Chargers versus New England Patriots Round 1 Wildcard Weekend. All right, first up, we're going to start with the injury report for both teams. See who's suiting up, see who's not suiting up. It's kind of a big list for both teams, but, I'm sure most of it's just rest, whatnot. Like for Keenan Allen, he's got, rest. He'll be playing. A couple of the people for the Chargers to be looking out for, Amari and Hampton. He's had 2 no practices. That's going to be a huge blow if we don't have Amari in. Obviously, Kamani Vidal has shown up tremendously this season. He's been such a, good running back too. And honestly, he's been playing like a running back 1. He's been balling out. He's been toting that rock, But Amari and Hampton being out is a huge blow for us, no matter what. He's our running back 1. He's the future of the franchise, running back 1. So hopefully he's able to play. I saw a couple of Jim Harbaugh comments saying that I think actually today he will be practicing as of Friday when I'm recording this video. I think today he will be practicing, whether it's a limited or a full. It's still a good sign in the right direction for him to be playing. Dante Jackson did leave Denver's game last week with an ankle injury. I heard it was precautionary. They kept him out of the game, and he did not return. They kept him out of the game precautionary just to keep him fresh for playoffs, which I think is the right thing. KLS did not two no practices. We'll see if he suits up. He's got a hamstring injury. Khalil Mack's got some rest. Elijah Molden, I think he probably will get a full practice today. He's got 2 limited practices. I think on the Jim Harbaugh comments on the interview, I think he did say that he will be full practicing today. I may be crazy, but I think that's what I heard. Jamari Sawyer. Now, this is probably the biggest player that could be a game changer for us. Greg Roman, I saw a comment Greg Roman made saying that if Jamari Sawyer is playing, which is trending in the right direction and most likely will be playing, he will be starting left tackle. Huge. Absolute grace from God gift right there. Jamari Sawyer has been balling out at left tackle and has been a savior on this offensive line. And to be honest, even Trey Pipkin has, Jamari Sawyer has been probably our best O-lineman, and he's been down a couple of weeks, so we haven't had him. I think he went down 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, something like that. But yeah, he's been a huge, bright light to look for in that offensive line. Of course, we have Bozo Man still on the line, so it tanks it down way more. But Jamari Sawyer being healthy and playing will be an amazing sign, especially because the Patriots do not have a great pass rush, which is one of the big reasons why I wanted to play them. We have a healthier O-line, and they don't have as good as a pass rush. It only gives Herbert more time to shine and, play better. For the Patriots, we have a couple of, 4 illnesses, which is kind of crazy. I guess they just all, went to the same restaurant and got sick or something. It doesn't look like much, non-injury related rest for Hunter Henry, Harold Landry. Limited practices, that could be big if he doesn't play. They're starting linebacker. Robert Spillane, limited practice, full practice, I'm sure he'll play. Keyshawn Boot, I heard, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I don't know if he's playing. I think it's like 50-50 up in the air. Because Mike Vrabel made a comment about a couple of players' injuries, and I remember Boot being in there. Garrett Bradbury, their starting center, not suiting up twice. It's an illness, so I'm sure he'll probably play through it unless he's like dying. But that is big if he doesn't play. Their starting center. Give like Tierra Tart, Justin Aboigbe, Jamari Caldwell more opportunities to get in the middle there. Next, I kind of want to talk about the Patriots' schedule. I don't want to say the Patriots are frauds, but I don't think they are this unbeatable team like we're looking at there really is no unbeatable team this year. I think every team is pretty much even. The most team I'm scared of, which is surprisingly, is the Jaguars. I don't want to play the Jaguars at all. Stay away from us, please, bro. I do not want to play the Jaguars again. But I just want to kind of go over the Patriots' schedule a little bit and kind of put a little bit of shine into people's minds about, are they really frauds? Are they not frauds? Let's see. But week 1, they got beat by the Raiders. Geno Smith-led Raiders, 20-13. They beat the Dolphins. The Steelers beat them. That's a playoff team. So they're 0-1 against playoff teams as of now. 42-13 to the Panthers, so 1-1. But are Panthers really a playoff team? They're gonna get bounced first round, so nobody cares. But it's fine. Got beat by. No, they beat the Bills. Sorry, excuse me. They beat the Bills 23-20, so that's 2-1 on Patriot on playoff teams. And they beat the Saints. They beat the Titans. They beat the Browns. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Bucks. They beat the Jets. They beat the Bengals. They beat the Giants. The Bills beat them. They beat the Ravens. They beat the Jets. They beat the Dolphins. And it just kind of makes you kind of scratch your head. You know, the strength of schedule is a little like down here. They've only beaten, I believe, one team above 500, which is the Bills. Yeah, Steelers beat them. Panthers are not 5. Panthers are 8-9, I believe. So, yeah, the Bills are the only team they beat over 500. So that really makes you scratch your head about how good they are, if their stats are inflated or not. But I mean, they've got against some pretty bad teams. And when they go against good teams, they kind of lose. You know, they lost to the Steelers. They lost to the Bills. They lost to the Raiders, which is the biggest head scratch on this list. You know, week 1, granted, but they still lost to the Raiders. You lose to the Raiders, it's probably the worst loss in your, you know, team's history. All right, next I kind of want to talk about some of my, you know, most important things, my keys to victory. Number 1, Justin Herbert. Let's get Herbert his first playoff win, and I truly think the Patriots are the best team we could have gone against. It's the best matchup for us, you know. They have somewhere in the 20th ranked pass rush, which is, it's huge. We've had such an injury-ridden O-line this year. And obviously, Bradley Bozeman, you know, what can I say? He's a terrorist. You know, he's still on our offensive line, which sucks. Mekhi Becton has been really bad this season, too. Zion Johnson hasn't been the best, but he's also been pretty bad. So, just all three mid, you know. Well, actually, Zion Johnson mid, and then Bradley Bozeman and Mekhi Becton should be locked up in jail for attempted murder on Justin Herbert, because that's what they do every single week. But Trey Pipkins and Jamar Sawyer have been two bright spots on this offensive line. I never thought I would say Trey Pipkins has been a bright spot, but you know, when you're this injured, you know, anything's a bright spot. It's better than Austin Deculus or Bobby Hart, so we'll take what we can get. But yeah, back to what I was saying about the Patriots pass rush. It's very mid and under average. So I think if we have a healthier offensive line versus a worse pass rush, that only gives Justin Herbert more of a chance to succeed and play better. Another, you know, probably my second most key to victory is if Omarion Hampton plays and Kamani Vidal. Basically, this photo represents the run game in general. You know, I think, you know, Justin Herbert's last two playoffs games, we couldn't run the ball for anything, whether it be in the second half versus Jacksonville or the entire game versus Houston. I think if we get the ground game going early and fast, you know, get the play action passes working, I think that's really how we can take advantage of this Patriots team, is just throwing the ball and getting the play action working and running the ball. I think if we get the play action set up, that sets us up for so much more success. I think Justin Herbert is somewhere in the 90% completion rate, or not completion rate, sorry, excuse me, QBR for play action. He's insane when it comes to play action. That's his best play type. So I think if we get the ground game going, get the play action set up, that's our best chance on offense to get the ball moving, get the touchdowns, honestly. Now, this is a little bit of an old photo, but this next photo represents the entire defense, if you couldn't tell. I think, you know, Derwin James, Tony Jefferson, Tierra Tart, Tariq Still, Odafe Owe, Khalil Mack, and all those guys, Tuli, can't forget Tuli, you know, leader for sacks for us to go. I think we need to get all those guys, you know, going. I think, you know, Jesse Minter has been such a second half coordinator. He's been such a dog. I will say this, he kind of has shown a little bit of disappointment in the first half, but then guess what? When that second half comes on, lights out defense, and that is how we play. So if we're down in the first half, I wouldn't be surprised if the second half we came back, because that defense is just that good. We are a second half team all around. But yeah, man, just getting, you know, this defense set up in the right spots, getting after Drake May. You know, let's get him under pressure. Let's get him in awkward situations. I think truly that we have such a good depth all around our defense. I think our defense is our strongest point right now, and you know, it's the thing that we can lean on to go far in the playoffs. But I think this defense is really good, and I think Jesse Minter is just a genius, and I think he will be hopefully he's not a head coach next year, because I would like it if Jesse Minter would stay with the team, you know, build a dynasty like Steve Spag, you know, Andy Reid, you know, with the Chiefs, you know, stay until Harbaugh retires, and then Jesse Minter can, you know, take a spot as head coach. I would love that. You know, that's in a dreamland fairy tale. But, you know, if that came true, that'd be my number one, you know, desire for Jesse Minter to take over after Harbaugh retires. But yeah, man, I mean, our defense has been, spectacular in the second half. So I think I just trust our defense, to come clutch. We need to pass. We need to, we need to get after Drake May and just, keep pressure on him. But anyways, Chargers fans, that was my game preview for the Los Angeles Chargers versus New England Patriots wild card weekend. Those were just some of my thoughts on the game, my keys to victory. Let me know some of your thoughts down below in the comments, your keys to victory as well. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, as it greatly helps the algorithm and my channel out a lot. If you enjoyed the video and my commentary, please subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And, you can keep on the lookout for future breakdowns and analysts. Thank you all very much for watching. Bolt up.